Now, this is the part of the evening where I'm supposed to say a few words about the association, the purpose of it. But firstly, I'd like to say thank you to our immediate past president, Ben Stallworthy, for all his time and efforts and his continual service to the school. Now, we had a little plaque for Ben, but sadly he couldn't make it today, so we'll just give him a round of applause in his absence anyway. The purpose of the association is to allow Albertians to reconnect with the school and its happenings. A chance for networking and socializing at events like these. I have always believed that where you went to high school is where you're from, because that is the time in your life where you go from being an innocent child, so to say, to a decision-making responsible adult. And no matter where our lives take us, functions by the Albertians Association allow us a chance to think of the good old days together and give us perspective to realize that we all come from the same place. I love the title of our last commemorative book, Tradition and Change. But I would argue that Mount Albert Grammar School, like our country New Zealand, has an immensely respectable tradition of change. I am proud to say that this tradition can be observed at the school in day-to-day life, and by extension at the Albertians Association. It's also worth mentioning that for the first time the Albertians Association is having a reunion in London next month to coincide with the first Cricket 11's tour of England, and this is hot on the heels of the first ever reunion that we had for the Albertians in Wellington recently. One of the most dramatic and recent changes at the school is obviously the introduction of the girls' school. There are people in this room who couldn't imagine their days at Mount Albert Grammar with girls there. Then there are those from my batch and younger who couldn't imagine the school without girls there. A lot of credit is due to those with the foresight and the guts to make such a change in our tradition occur, and many of them are here with us tonight. Even more credit is due to those who took the challenges laid down by all the naysayers to implement the necessary structures which allow us today to look at the integration of the girls' school as very successful in both the academic and extracurricular fields. It is so important that we remind ourselves constantly that what we are scared of losing with change pales in comparison to what we can gain through change. We are so fortunate to come from a school and live in a country where social equality and justice is a genuine objective, where everyone is allowed a chance of success based on effort and merit. Sadly, we are not isolated in this world. With the proliferation of social media and unverified information, we are subject to topics and people that are not from here, nor have they any effective influence here. Nevertheless, they can be given great importance. And with the steady descent of the media from once being an objective narrator of current events and news to entertainment and talk shows where the opinions of the author and the presenter's charisma or the ability to use shock and awe tactics for ratings and financial gains seems more important than getting the facts across. It is unsurprising then that a man is in line to genuinely contest for arguably the most powerful elected office in the world who would ban me from entering the United States based purely on my faith. If this man is elected, will the NZRU boycott all All Blacks tours to America? Would it be on principle? Would it be knowing that the greatest superstar right now for the All Blacks would not be allowed entry otherwise? I'm talking about our celebrated Albertian, Sonny Bill Williams, because of his faith. My friends, there are people drowning in the Mediterranean Sea trying to escape violence, persecution, and hunger. The last time this occurred, the people were going the other way. There were Europeans escaping the great wars of Europe less than 100 years ago. They were running to Beirut, Damascus, Istanbul, Cairo, and Alexandria. The movie Casablanca, one of the greatest films ever made, is based in that time. It is heartbreaking to see the amnesia which Europe suffers from today. The way these refugees are treated and termed migrants and painted as a new nuisance, a new burden upon the world. History, like fashion, is cyclical. And we mustn't forget that one person's hero is another's villain. And we all get to play both sides. Refugees and immigrants are not statistics, they are people. So why am I saying all this? What relevance is there to the Albertians Association and Mount Harbour Grammar? I would argue that it has everything to do with the school and the Albertians. It is important to realize that the boogeyman is not as scary as you may think. You should important to realize that the boogeyman is not as scary as you may think. You should not be led to fear what you don't even know. Instead, trust what you know and what you see in front of you. It is important to realize that the people who are referred to as they, or them, or from over there, they're not all that different to you, or I. They are not they are us. We're all in this together. We are all here on these green mounds of earth in the South Pacific, trying to make the best of our situations. It is important that events like these are frequented regularly so we can see that no matter what we look, sound, or seem like, we're all from the same place. We must not let the fear of the unknown dictate terms, nor must we allow others' agendas dictate our terms. Like starting the girls' school, what must once have seemed impossible and inconceivable was actually a massive, huge success waiting to happen. We must embrace our tradition of change and drop the us versus them rhetoric. It gives me great joy to come from a school which allows and actively encourages different ideas from different people of the world to mix together. We are stronger for it as a result. And that is why I partake in the Albertians Association. And that is the purpose of the Albertians Association, to safeguard our tradition of change. Thank you.